So, Edgar, before we play the soundbite, let's give our listener a bit of context. How did those interviews come about?
Well, after our last episode where we analyzed tools like Currypod, ChatGPT, Duolingo, and also Speak, we realized that we were missing a crucial voice, the practicing teacher. We want to know uh, are teachers actually using these tools? What do they think about them? And what concerns do they have?
Exactly. And I think what's interesting in that both professors come from different angles. Professor Colin was very practical and grounded in classroom reality. While Professor Jacqueline brought a much more theoretical and sociolinguistic perspective.
Which made for a really rich contrast. Let's start with Professor Colin.
So I had the chance to sit down with Professor Colin Lawrence, and I want to share what he say about artificial intelligence in language teaching. Okay, guys, we are here with Colin. He is a teacher here in the university UPB to be specific. Colin, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, teacher, what is your opinion about artificial intelligence in language teaching?
It's an interesting question. It's something that I think needs to be used carefully in language teaching, but it provides a lot of interesting opportunities to make teaching and learning more motivational. I think it gives a lot of opportunity for teachers to be more efficient with their planning and preparation, as long as they are not just using it to not do the work themselves. It needs to be responsibly used, but I think it can provide a lot of interesting and exciting opportunities for students and teachers.
Okay, teacher, do you know that a student can learn or practice the pronunciation with artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, Claude? So they start talking and the artificial intelligence give like a feedback. So according with that, do you use artificial intelligence tools in your class?
I haven't used artificial intelligence tools for pronunciation, but I think it's a very useful tool for students to be able to use, particularly in their own independent time. But during class I haven't used it, but I imagine there's some good opportunities for that. I also think it's interesting to know what the different artificial intelligence platforms, provide in terms of pronunciation and speaking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, teacher, for talk with us. So
Pleasure, no problem.
okay, teacher, thank
All
you.
right.
What struck me immediately about Professor Colin's response was his emphasis on responsible use. He didn't say artificial intelligence is good or bad. He said needs to be used carefully. I think that a very balanced and realistic position.
And I agree. The phrase that stood out to me was when he said that teachers shouldn't use AI to not do the work themselves. That's a real concern in education right now. The risk of AI becoming a shortcut rather than a pedagogical tool. Yeah.
Exactly, bro. And he also mentioned something really interesting about pronunciation tools. Specifically, he acknowledged their values for independent learning, but admit he has not integrated them into his own classes yet. That honestly is reflection.
It also tells us something important. Even experiences open mind teachers are still figuring out how to integrate AI meaningfully. There is a gap between what these tools offer and what teachers feel confident doing with them in the classroom.
Which connect to what Mira and Coder argued in your TPAC fragment. That effective technological integration requires not just knowing the tool, but understanding how it fits with a pedagogical and content. That's a sophisticated skill that takes time to develop.
Now, let's turn to Professor Jacqueline Vargas, who I had the opportunity to interview. Her perspective was quite different, much more theoretical, and with a strong focus on equity and ethics. I will read the transcription of the answer of the teacher. Okay?
Based on your question about what is my point of view using AIs for language teaching and learning, I think beyond the technical advantage, we must consider the impact of AI on sociolinguistic equity by providing high quality linguistic models to learn in context where native speakers or specialized resources are scarce. AI serves a powerful tool for closing social gaps. However, this potential is only realized if we approached it through the lens of universal design for learning, ensuring that AI driven materials are accessible and minimize the cognitive load for diverse learners. Ultimately, the future of language education lies in a hybrid intelligence, where the speed and vastness of AI data are tempered by the teacher's ability to foster empathy, ethical awareness, and a deep appreciation for the historical and cultural evolution of language, elements that a machine can describe but never truly experience.
Okay, the teacher said, beyond the technical advantage, we must consider the impact of AI on social linguistic equity by providing high quality linguistic models to learners in contexts where native speakers or specialized resources are scarce, and AI serve as a powerful tool for closing social gaps. However, this potential is only realized if we approach it through the lens of universal design for learning (UDL), ensuring that AI driven materials are accessible and minimize the cognitive load for diverse learners. Ultimately, the future of the language education lies in a hybrid intelligence, where the speed and vastness of AI data are tempered by the teacher's ability to foster empathy, ethical awareness, and a deep appreciation for the theoretical and cultural evolution of language elements that a machine can describe but never truly experience.
That's a beautiful fragment, and it resonates with what we argued in our last episode. The artificial intelligence is a recurrence, but the teacher pedagogical judgment is what gives its meaning.
Yeah, I agree. A student in a rural school with no English teacher could theoretically use an AI tool to get a pronunciation feedback, vocabulary practice, or even conversational practice. That's a powerful equalizer.
She also introduced an important condition, universal design for learning. As you know, UDL. The idea is that artificial intelligence tools need to be designed and used in a way that are accessible to all learners, minimizing cognitive load and accounting for device needs. Not every tool does that well.
And then there is her concept of hybrid intelligence, which I found really thought uh, provoking. The idea that the future of language education is in AI replacing teachers, but AI and teachers working together. The speed and data of AI combined with the teacher's capacity for empathy, ethical awareness, and cultural understanding.
That's a beautiful fragment, and it resonates with what we argued in our last episode. The artificial intelligence is a recurrence, but the teacher pedagogical judgment is what gives its meaning. So now that we have heard from both professors, let's compare the perspective. What do you think are the key similarities and differences?
Well, I think both professors agree on fundamental point. AI has a real potential for language teaching, but it requires critical and responsible use. Neither of them is it, and neither of them embrace it uncritically.
That's right, but the difference is in where the focus your counter. Professor Colin is more focused on the practical level, the risk of the teacher use artificial intelligence as a shortcut, and the college of integrating the meaningful into actual class. His concern is pedagogical and very grounded.
While Professor Jacqueline zooms out to the broader social level, equality, ethics, cultural dimension of language. Her concern is about what kind of language education we want to build and whether AI serves or undermines that vision.
And I think together, those two levels, the practice and the philosophical, give up a more complete picture of what responsibility artificial intelligence integrates in a language education actually look like.
Yeah, you need the classroom level awareness that Professor Colin brings, and the critical theoretical lens that Professor Jacqueline offers. One without the other is incomplete.
So after those conversations, has your view on artificial intelligence in language teaching changed at all?
Honestly, yes. It's become more nuanced, but this interview I thought about AI mostly in terms of tools and activities. Now I think about it more in terms of responsibility to students, to profession, and to the diversity of language users around the world.
For me, what resonated most was Professor Collins' comment about efficiency. Artificial intelligence can make teachers more efficient, but the efficient is in service of what? If it's in service of deeper, more meaningful learning experiences, that powerful is used about saving time. We have missing the point.
And the Professor Jacqueline hybrid intelligence stays with me because I think that's ultimately what we're uh, all working toward. Not a classroom run by AI, but a classroom enriched by it, guided by teachers who understand both the technology and the human dimensions of language learning.
Well, say, artificial intelligence doesn't teach language. Teachers do. But the best teacher of the 20th century will know how to use artificial intelligence wisely.
Well, thank you for joining us for this episode. A special thank you to Professor Jacqueline Vargas and Professor Colin Lawrence for sharing their time and insights with us.
This has been Edgar Vizcaíno and Sebastián Moreno for our blog podcast series on artificial intelligence in language education. Until next time. Se queda así.